Saludos fanáticos y fanáticas de Boxeo 24/7 y del boxeo en general. Espero que estén todos teniendo un muy lindo día. Estemos descansando. Sé que está un poquito fuera, pero pues cosas de la vida y cosas de trabajo. Gracias a Dios hay trabajo, mucho trabajo, mejor dicho. Y ya saben, mi gente. Bueno, como ya les dije, hemos estado un poquito quitados, pues, cosas de trabajo, ¿no? Pero tenemos hoy un súper invitado que nos ha dado la oportunidad, ¿verdad? Por fin de tenerlo con nosotros en el programa. Pero antes, ¿cómo vamos a empezar sin antes darle las gracias a nuestros auspiciadores que están con nosotros semana tras semana? Dándonos la mano para tener este programa listo para ustedes. Ok, mi gente, queremos empezar con nada más y nada menos con Tanis Down Boutique, los mejores en prendas y accesorios. Ok, mi gente, ustedes saben, entren a la página, digan mío, me gustó, lo quiero para mí, lo que ustedes quieran, y ya saben que ella con mucho gusto se separa y los ayuda para tener la orden, ¿no? Eso es algo pues bastante bueno, ¿no? Se hacen envíos a todo Puerto Rico e Isla de Guam, ¿ok? Mi gente, ya saben cómo es. Puerto Rico, Estados Unidos e Isla de Guam, ya saben. Entonces también queremos darle las gracias a Details and More. Details and More son los duros en hacer eventos y ha grabado todo tipo de ocasión. Si usted en Florida y quiere un evento bien bonito, organizado, bien chévere, no busquen a más nadie, busquen a Details and More. Hacen canastas, eventos, bodas, bar mitzvahs, quinceañera, aniversario, lo que usted quiera, Details and More, no hay nada que buscar. Bueno, gente, como siempre, nos vestimos de gala hoy. Tenemos hoy un súper invitado. ¿De quién hablo? De nada más y nada menos de Corey, Too Smooth, Marksman. How you doing, Corey?
Yo, what's going on, brother?
I'm good, Corey. First of all, I want to thank you for saying yes, accepting the invitation, and also for committing to your word.
Nah, for sure. I appreciate you for having me here.
Okay, Corey. So, like it's tradition, like we do with every one of our guests. I would like to ask you, at what age and how did you fall in love with boxing?
I started boxing when I was 8, but I don't think I really fell in love with boxing until I was about 16 or 17 when I started to take it serious.
Okay, so Corey, a little bit of a view. I would like to for you to share with us a little bit of your resume as a how you say it, how as a amateur boxer.
So I didn't really have like a big amateur boxing background. I really maybe only had 35, 40 fights, and I didn't do many like national tournaments. I think I did Golden Gloves one time and like a state PAL one time. So I didn't really have like an extensive amateur background. One because that's when I realized that amateur boxing wasn't the same as pro boxing. Like the thing that they cared about is the things that I didn't care about. Volume punches and who can show the most heart. I want to take my time and I want to pick my shots and stuff like that. So I just committed to what I knew I was going to be able to do in the pros.
Okay, so you wanted to quickly jump into the pros.
No, I didn't want to quickly jump into it, but I knew that I wanted to be a pro boxer. So I wasn't going to change my style from amateur boxing. I mean, from pro boxing to amateur boxing.
Okay, I understand. So, Corey, how was the approach? How was the offer for you to make the jump from amateur to professional? How was the approach? How was the offer for you to make that transition?
Um, I mean, I think we approached it pretty well, seeing as how like I was always in the gym around a lot of high level pros, and I was always training with them, so I got a taste of what it would be like when it was my turn to turn pro. And luckily, my team we had I got a really good team behind me with my coach is my pops and a great promoter with undisputed, and we've been rocking ever since, and we've been taking the right fights, and I think we're on the right path right now.
Yeah. You're a champ. That title over there looks really beautiful over there. The one that you have on your right, it
Thank
looks
you.
really cute. So let me do something here. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, I got it. Okay, Corey. So I want to know about your debut night. That it was in July a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, my pro debut.
And yes, sir. Were you nervous? Were you confident? How was that night for you?
Um, Honestly, I was a little bit nervous just because it was my first pro fight, but all the nerves and anxiety went out the window as soon as the bell rang, and I knew that it was time to go. Like, but I was nervous leading up to it because it's such a big jump from amateur to pro. You take the headgear off, and you got smaller gloves, and you got an extra round. So I mean, there was a lot of factors, but I knew I was ready for it.
Okay. So there's a few fights that I took the liberty to watching because I wanna just not the first fight. Let me see if I can get it over here. So Corey, you've been being how do you consider yourself as a boxer? Do you consider yourself a speed boxer? You like to trade blows. How will you put yourself in a
I
class?
think I think I'm a pure boxer. I got speed and I got a great boxing IQ. Uh, I'm I'm not a big puncher, but I can punch for sure, and my counters are really sharp. So I think I'm a really really good all around boxer. I switch stances. My defense is really good, and I use my head when I'm in there. I'm not just in there fighting. I'm in there thinking.
Okay. So man, it's important to have your pops as a trainer because he ain't gonna take you like a fool. He's gonna actually gonna be there with you. He's
Exactly.
gonna take you the right path. So one thing that I am really interested over here is that as is you as a as you have been fighting people that had almost your same record. You haven't been taking easy fights. You have been having like really tough fights, really hard fights. Oh, the our third, which is I consider something really good. It's a really good benefit for yourself because that way, when you get to the big leagues, you're gonna have like a kind of a background with the big guys.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
so giving a little bit of fast forward, I would like to see your fight against Tony Aguilar. I would like to revisit that fight. You fought two times. The first time was a draw. What do you think
Yeah.
about that first fight against Tony Aguilar that was a draw? It was a draw. Do you think that you won the fight, or you think that it was fair for you the draw?
No, no, I definitely won that fight. Even when I go back and watch it now, I don't see how they could. Well, let me not say I don't see how they could score the draw because I can see it if I'm looking not as a boxer or not as like a fan or anything. But I still think I won that fight. Um, Clearly I dominated in the second fight, but the first fight we had fought twice already in the amateurs, and then he was one of the only people to really beat me in the amateurs twice. So I think in that first fight I was just trying to get my revenge from when I was an amateur. Got away from the game plan and whatnot, but um, I still think I won even with that.
Okay. So you fought a second time in Tampa. It's been in the area. It's been in Florida. So the second fight, you wanted to knock him out because I saw you kind of a more aggressive in that second fight. You wanted to knock him out to make sure that this time you wouldn't get robbed, or do you actually wanted to? Do you want just want to stick to the game plan?
Now I never gonna try to knock nobody out because, like I said, I know I'm not like a big puncher, but I can punch. Um, well, the second fight, I really just wanted to stick to the game plan because that's how I got a draw in the first fight. I just wanted to fight him, and I knew I could outbox this kid, you know, all day, all night, and that's exactly what I did. There was points in the fight where I I found myself kind of getting drawn back into his kind of fight. I just want to, rumble and tumble. But you can see how I was pulling away and I separated myself with my skill level and all that.
Okay, now going back, going a little bit back, I see on January 2023, if I'm not mistaken, you fought Adrian Orban,
Yeah.
and you won. That fight was undefeated versus undefeated. It's true you were still like a rookie back then. You were like you had like 5 or 6 fights over
Yeah,
there.
that was my sixth fight. Yeah.
But do
I
you
think we
have
go back
like
to the same record, 5-0, 5-0.
yeah, but you were both on the field at the same time. So did you feel like some kind of pressure because it was a fight that it was like a fight that you how do you say it, that you were both undefeated? Do you feel like some pressure that you were both undefeated and it was like a different type of fight?
Nah, I never feel pressure going against undefeated fighters because um he's undefeated, but I mean so am I. Like I never think of it as like, oh, I gotta fight him. I always think of it as he's fighting me. And he's got more to lose than I do because I know what I can do. So I mean I wasn't pressured then and I'm not pressured now, even fighting undefeated fighters now.
Okay, got it. And I saw a fight. I think it was against I don't know who was the video fight. I think it was Adrian Orban that you won after he said no after 2 rounds,
Yeah.
and you were like, "Oh God!" Were you like celebrating with a yell, or were you frustrated because it ended so quickly?
Oh, I think you're talking about the fight right before that one. So he quit on the stool, and I wasn't mad that he had quit. I think it was just a rush of emotion because I had so much going on during that camp, and it was just so much like on so much weight on my shoulders leading up to that fight, and so when the fight was over and I won, I made him quit. It just felt good, and I was just expressing my emotion. I wasn't mad at him. You know what I'm saying? It was just a lot of that I was feeling at the moment.
Okay. So going fast forward again, after Tony Aguilar, you fought Jonathan Perez, 41-40. He was a boxer that had like over 80 fights, and you had like I don't know, like 10, 11, 12 fights. You obviously don't have no 80 fights yet.
Yeah.
And what do you think that you took from that fight to future fights?
Um, I mean that guy, the dude I was supposed to fight, he had pulled out like the day before, and so they kind of just found that guy. He was willing to take the fight, and I praise him for taking it because he didn't have to, and I don't. That's the type of fight that I don't really take much from because I knew what I was gonna go on there and do, and I knew that it was gonna open some more doors for me, and like it did, it opened up the rematch like 40 days later. So. It's not that I don't take anything from it, but what is there for me to really learn from that fight?
Well, he was a more experienced fighter, so
Yeah, he had a lot of experience and everything, but I mean, I got experience too. I've been in there with some of the best guys in the world, you know. So
yeah. Also, some people that just like you, they're trying to make a name for them in the boxing. You already got a regional title with you. Congratulations again for that. I was watching that fight. I was rooting for you, also, obviously.
right.
You might not believe it. I was rooting for you, to be honest. So, Corey, you fought then against Luis Jamil Martinez. He had the heart of a champion. And he had was like 9-1 back
Yeah.
then. How do you feel about the fight?
I think that's the most fun I ever had in a fight, to be honest with you. And it was a week before my birthday too, so I was feeling extra good. And believe it or not, they cut my warm up short, so I didn't really get to warm up before I went out there. So I took the first round to kind of get loose, and it just took off from there.
Yeah, because I saw you were like some guy kind of tight before the first round. After the second round, I said, okay, this guy got this.
Yeah, it it looked good on paper, but really it was a mismatch. Like I mean, shout out to Luis for taking the fight and sticking with it throughout the whole camp. And he was game. He had heart. When the ref stopped the fight, he was upset because he wanted to keep going, but there was nothing that he was gonna be able to do. So it was a good call for him to stop it. I think he should have stopped it like a round earlier, but it's okay.
Okay. Then you fought against Jacob Gomez. That was 7 days ago.
Yeah.
And that man, brutal fight, brutal fight. You both put your heart out. You both were like really, really, really hitting each other with everything you had. And what that fight meant to you, being, I think it was your first fight for a title, which is the WBA light title, and against a fighter like Jacob Gomez, that he was also 14-0, undefeated, was undefeated for a title, and being in Orlando, you're from Sanford, being in the state where you actually grew up, where you're from. How was the emotions for that night?
It was, the emotions were high for sure. It was a really really long camp, and I put in a lot of work. So for the moment to finally happen and me be crowned champion that night, it felt really good, especially knowing how much work I put into that camp and everything that I sacrificed. So yeah, it felt really really good.
Yeah, because people, they always see, wow, this guy must be rich. He's been making millions. He must be in the boxing. Okay, but boxing is not everything about millions, because before you get to make the money that Canelo makes, that Mayweather makes, or any other of those but guys made, look what they had to been through. Look the
Right.
obstacles they had to go to get where they are right now.
Exactly.
So, so Corey, I know you want to take a break, you want to rest, you want to eat whatever you want, and before you start training again. So, is there like anything on mind, opponent you would love to fight or something? Are you think you're ready for a world title fight or something like
Um,
that?
no, I ain't got nobody in mind. I fight whoever they put in front of me. I've never said no to a fighter um in my life. But yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of time to enjoy the win. I'm always in the gym, so it's not like I'm getting out of shape. But I'm also trying to stay active, so trying to get back in the rings real real soon. Um, as far as like fighting for a world title, I think I could always fight for a world title right now. But I'm not gonna jump the gun, but and try to do something crazy. So if the moment comes, the moment will come. But if not, it's all in God's timing.
Yeah, definitely. That's the MVP. If he doesn't want anything to happen, we have to consult with God first, and his time is perfect, and your time will come. Well, how that I can see you being a world champion, man, for real.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. I see it too.
yeah, because right now we have some good champions, like for example Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson. Keyshawn is WBO, Shakur is WBC. I'm not sure this. I'm not sure there's another organism. Maybe some of those guys are, you know, because we had the WBC, like I said, is the WBC is Shakur and WBO Keyshawn.
I
So
think Abdullah is WBO right now, and
yeah,
Mortaya is a IBF, and I think Javante just vacated the WBA. So
yeah,
I think the WBA is vacant right now, and luckily this will get me ranked within the top 10 for the WBA.
yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, in this sport, I'm not sure that I can mention the name. You are worldwide recognized number 39.
That's pretty good.
In USA, you're number 15, and just a few more fights, and you'll be back in the top ranking. So, Corey, you already have like 14 fights in your record. You have 14 fights, and from your rookie level to this level, do you think that you still have some nerves when you get in the ring? Because that's a question that I haven't been able to ask everybody. So how you feel about that? How about that? About right now, Corey, when he was a rookie, when he made his debut, to his most recent fight. You still have some nerves, or you're
No,
like different?
I haven't been nervous since my pro debut. Like once I realized that I could really do this for real and I could really beat people up in a pro on a pro level, all my nerves went out the window. I don't. Whenever I think about fighting or think about when it's time for me to walk out there, I don't get nervous. I get excited. So that's what gets my adrenaline going. Is because it's now it's time to show. And like I like being under lights and cameras and stuff like that. So none of that ever really bothers me. You know, at the end of the day, he trained, but he didn't train harder than me, and I know that for a fact.
Okay, that's the right attitude. So
Yeah,
Corey, I want to thank also your trainer and the person that picked the phone on me for letting me know, hey, this guy's gonna be in this gym later on. So I want to thank him for making this to happen, and for you
yeah, that's
to,
my pop. And for sure, I appreciate you for having me.
yeah, yeah. Well, Corey, some last words for the people around here watching this interview.
Um, I appreciate all the support and love that you always sent my ways. But just stay tuned because something is coming up real soon.
Yeah, and for me personally, I hope this ain't the last time we're here sharing this interview. I hope it ain't the last one. We'll keep. If you ever want to make talk about something like every single guest we have here, we're gonna give you the space and the time like every other boxer, so we can keep on doing this. Okay.
For sure.
So hope to see you soon in the World Scene, and please, people, give this guy the main event. This guy ain't no joke.
I
Like I
appreciate
said,
it, man. That's what I've been
two.
trying to say. That's what hey, you know, it's all gonna happen soon enough.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And we want to be there first row for you, man. It's for real. I've been
I
in
appreciate
the
it.
yeah. Well, people, Corey Marksman, let's give him support. Let's give him love. Boxing is not easy. Boxing is no game. Boxing is a really cruel and very dirty business. You've been seeing the trade we had, and for Corey being in that ring fighting other guys, is something he's putting his life and his way, his being, his human being on again. Okay, so let's give him the support.
Thank you.
Corey, one more time, thank you, people. Stay tuned. This guy is no joke. Have a good night.
Have a good night.